I think it's been a transition kind of season because obviously they had their style of play, and obviously the main guy was Vinicius. Last season, everything was going through him. It was always him, and Mbappe, is such a superstar. Done what he's done in his career. He comes to a club like Real Madrid, and he probably thought he was going to be the superstar like he was at PSG, which we've heard in the past that with Neymar and Messi, it was not always working. And yeah, I think you come to a club like Real Madrid, you've got to be prepared to share the spotlight with other superstars, I remember the Galacticos with Ronaldo, Beckham, Zidane. They've managed to work and all work together. And I think that's the hardest thing for him, is to accept that he might not be the main guy all the time. But saying that, I think he's in terms of goals that he scored this season, I was reading that he scored more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo on his first season at Real Madrid. So, when you look at things, you've got to put it back in perspective. I think we expect so much from the guy, and we just think he's just going to hit numbers and carry the team and do something special, which I think he's done a pretty good season. It's just maybe a bit of a bad luck that this year Real Madrid might have not been as good as they were previous season in terms of in LaLiga. They're only second behind Barcelona. And Barcelona has been absolutely fantastic this season. And I think in the Champions League, obviously, they're still in it. But losing 3-0 at the Emirates look like it's going to be a tough ask for them to get back into the tie. So yeah, people are going to obviously judge him on Real Madrid's kind of season and where they stand, which is not, obviously it's not as well as they expected.
No, but it's a high bar.
It's very, very high bar. That's the problem when you're there for such a top club.
Yeah.
The only expectation is just to win trophies, and when you don't, then obviously it kind of feel like a failure.
So, but do you think that he and Vinicius can succeed together?
100%. I think so. I think it's just learning to play together, learning each other's strengths, and just wanting to play with each other. It happened to me in my career where I was at Lorient and Vincent Aboubakar came, and obviously he was a number 9. I was a number 9 at the time. I've scored a lot of goals for Lorient, and it's not like I didn't want to play with him. It's just that our style of play was so similar that we used to kind of step on each other's toes without knowing we were doing it. And I remember the manager saying, guys, you just need to play together. And I said, coach, it's not that I don't want to play with him. It's just, it seems that when I make a run, he makes the same one at the same time. And we kind of just end up in each other's way. And I just feel sometimes with Vinicius and Mbappe, they kind of do a little bit the same thing. It's just they get into each other's way. But I still do think there's such a great talent, and they're so clever player, football IQ. So I just think they'll work. Yeah, it's just impossible to have such a great players, great talent, and not make them click, and work.
Yeah, well, we heard even Prince William last week talking about he thinks PSG is a better team without Mbappe. They play more as a team. Do you agree with that, having watched PSG this season?
Yeah, well, I've been in Paris. Well, I grew up in Paris, so PSG was my team when I was growing up. So obviously I always follow the way they play, and I must say that I want to say probably the time when Neymar, Mbappe and Messi is probably in the last 15 years is the worst that I've enjoyed watching PSG play, because it was all about individuals going forward. It was all nothing about the team, and that's not what I like to see. Even back in the day when I was still playing and Ibrahimovic and Cavani were there, they were superstars, but they played together. They played as a team. And I just feel with Mbappe and Neymar and then Messi come in, it kind of were just too much ego, too much superstars, and it kind of didn't work. But now when you watch PSG play now, it's just amazing football in midfield for a start. They just control the game, and then after, I think going forward, the only main superstar that we kind of talked about is Ousmane Dembele. Then you've got Doué and Barcola that kind of are young, still very young. So they kind of let Dembele get the spotlight, and they're happy to just be in the team and work for the team. So it looks much better as a fan watching. You just think, wow, this is good football. This is what we want to come and watch PSG play. So I do agree, yeah.